Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Suited Kings podcast. Today, we are going to do, I guess, our final WSOP prep episode, a little bit different, not really a strategy-based one, but more of just sort of a wrap-up, lead into the World Series here as we're recording. As you guys are listening to this on Thursday, the World Series of Poker starts in 5 days. I will be going out in a week.
How is it
Yeah,
already here? Holy crap.
I know. It does seem so recent,
It does, yeah. I mean, it was just last year that we were out there for 5 or 6 weeks in our Airbnb, and then you got
That is how it works once every year.
well, and then we got our roommate Brad, counting down the days, and it felt like it was so far away, and all of a sudden you just blink and we're here again.
Yeah, it was like, oh, 162 days. Oh, still a few months. Wait, what? So
Oh yeah, what? I'm here. Okay.
yeah. So we are here, and originally we had planned to do a different sort of episode. We had some sort of scheduling conflicts with our potential guests. Uh, One thing led to another. Whatever. We decided to just make kind of a wrap up episode here where we talk a little bit about our plans for the summer. We did get some questions from you guys, so we are going to answer those ourselves. We're going to make some predictions, a little bracelet bet, if you will.
Yes.
Not between me and Max, because I'm going to be playing a lot more events than him, but we're each going to pick a few players. And we're going to announce a winner from
The hoodie
this
giveaway.
last week. Yeah, or some winners from our hoodie giveaway. We still have some more to give away, and I think we will actually. We haven't even figured out what we're going to do, but it's something WSOP related. So maybe we just come up with that on the podcast live here. Maybe we just decide how we're going to give away a few more hoodies.
Yes. Yeah, I love it. Okay.
Sounds good.
That sounds good to me. And yeah, so last week we did a giveaway on our Twitter, where we wanted to give away 4 hoodies for the MSPT Firekeepers. All you had to do was guess, how many entries were in each of the 3 starting flights and then the total entries. And we're giving away 1 hoodie per person, for the guesses. I mean, honestly, we had one guy who pretty much almost nailed them all, but we're not going to give him 4 hoodies. So we'll just kind of go who is the next closest going from there. But I do want to give a shout out to Gizmo, one of our Discord members / listeners, for just absolutely crushing the numbers, getting it really close. So shout out to him. Gizmo is going to be our first winner. We'll just say that he guessed day 1A is correct. So day 1A had 612 entries. He guessed 623.
Wow.
Pretty close. So shout out to him on that. Our second winner is going to be Peyton Smith. Day 1B.
Nice.
Yep. Day 1B had 1,134 entries. He guessed 995. So still almost a couple hundred off there, 150 off or so.
I was really surprised at how high day 1B got, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, it blew my expectations out of the water as well. And then day 1C had 1,294 entries. And our winner for that flight is going to be Daryl Opelt. Sorry if I mispronounced that. He guessed 1,144. So about 150 short again. Everybody was short. No one went over from all of our guesses.
Yeah.
So
it was a record-breaking field size. And then who was the fourth one?
The total. So the total entries for MSPT Firekeepers was a massive 3,040 entries. That generated what, the $3 million prize pool, I guess.
Just under, I think it's $970 that goes to, so it was like just under 3 million.
I mean, that's insane for 1,100. We love that. This is, before I say who won this last one, I will just say, this is probably just as juicy as a $1,500 bracelet event.
Oh, well, me and I was chatting with a guy at my table, Keith Hine.
I know Keith.
Yeah.
Shout out to Keith.
Yeah,
he's an MSPT Hall of Famer, I believe.
He is. He and I chatted about that a month or two ago as well. But so he was saying this feels like a World Series event because we got, day 2 of this event, there were 334 players. And it just people busting out left and right at the start of day 2. And it's like, this has the feel to a bracelet event where they're just all these entries, and it's like, yeah, you make the money, but there's still forever to go before you make any real pay jumps.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it was kind of fun too. He and I were also ironically talking about the butterfly effect of how things can, you know, if something happens, it sort of affects something else. And ironically, the moment he got moved from my table, and the next hand got dealt eight-handed, I
Yeah.
received a double up. So I'm like, wow, that was weird. The butterfly effect. Um, so
Lovely, lovely. By the way, nice run. You're just one bullet in the MSPT Firekeepers this week, and you ended up getting a cash there.
I did. I cashed for a little over, or yeah, 3,681. I I got through. I drove in. I got there level 5 on Thursday. Um, Bought in, starting stack 30K. By the end of level 6, I was over 100K. Things slowed down after that. I had some run good, some run bad. I ended up bagging a somewhat short stack at 115. Came into day 2 and actually got,
You ran it up quickly.
yeah, I got up to 550K. I ran kings into aces against the shorter stack. And yeah, it kind of petered out after that. I got 122nd. So got several pay jumps, but nothing too big. But overall, you can't be.
That's a successful week in bagging on one bullet, regardless. So, yeah,
Yeah,
that's.
yeah. It's
Oh, and let me pause you, by the way. We didn't give our winner for the total of the
Oh,
Firekeepers.
did we not?
No,
We
no,
just
just ranters, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
We're just always going off on a tangent. But so it had 3,040 total entries. And the last hoodie is going to go to Mr. Cody, which would be at goat underscore CM23. So our
There
winners
you
are
go.
Gizmo, Peyton Smith, Darrow Appelt. Sorry if I mispronounced that again. And then Cody at goat underscore CM23. Shout out to you guys. I will be reaching out to you guys via however I can get a hold of either Discord or social media to get you guys your hoodies. So congrats on that. Like Wes said, we have more hoodies to give away. These things are awesome, and the fact that we have so many to give away is even more incredible. Shout out to Tilted Compass for collaborating with us and helping make this merch possible. If you guys want some sweet swag for the WSOP, make sure to go to the Tilted Compass website, click on the apparel tab, and get some Suited Kings merch to rock at the WSOP. So we would love to see you rocking that there, and we'll be rocking it ourselves.
We
Um,
will be. I'm
and
rocking mine right now, actually.
just such a shill.
We're not even putting this on video.
I know. Um, but yeah, so like Wes said here, to get into today's content, we had a really cool finale lined up with some guests, but unfortunately, due to the scheduling conflicts and being a little so close to WSOP, we were not able to get this episode rolling with everybody at the same time. So no worries there, but we are going to do a final wrap up on the WSOP prep, get some question answered, talk about our expectations, what we're looking forward to, get a bracelet bet going, and then kind of talk about our own schedules as well for this summer's WSOP. But Wes, let's go ahead and get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. So let's start off first. I'm looking at a few questions that our listeners asked in the Discord. Let's start with Chris Jones. He asked, since play can be so varied at the WSOP, I'd love to hear um I'd love to hear your approach when you sit down at a new table. How are you assessing the table, player types? What exactly are you looking for?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yep.
Well,
Um,
obviously, when we first sit down, like the first thing we do is assess the table. I mean,
I
when
thought
I
you were gonna
sit,
say first thing we do is just like
just one
give
round.
everyone the middle finger,
Yeah,
maybe
what?
slap everyone in
Well,
the
I was,
face.
dude, there we go. I was gonna say just one roundhouse slap, like one fell swoop across all the cheeks, just to assert dominance to let them know that I'm not gonna be pushed around. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
and if it was a female, I would bypass because we don't do that. But um,
Yeah, that's
uh,
lovely. Do you include the dealer in this?
uh, no, no, we
If
don't.
they
No,
look at you the wrong way.
yeah, maybe if they look at it, the dealer kit will not be included. We love dealers around here, so we'll let that pass. But speaking of dealers, one thing I do want to say before we get into the assessment of our opponents when sitting down is be kind. A lot of these dealers are going to be dealing for the first time at the WSOP. Every year, it's the same thing. The first few weeks are going to be really slow. They're learning how to deal a lot of the time for the first time, and they're just trying to make a living and help them out. Don't yell at them. Be courteous. And then typically they get a lot better as they've got some experience a few weeks in. So be mindful and be courteous. Be kind to the dealers. With that said, sitting down at the table, just got moved. You know, being someone who's played live tournaments for over a decade, played very regularly, when I sit down, I can almost immediately notice who's going to be a pain in the ass and who's going to be not a pain in the ass just by looking at them.
Yeah.
Um,
And
and
by pain in the ass, you mean a good player,
a good
probably.
player, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Someone who's gonna, put me in tough spots. They say don't judge a book by its cover. In this game, I do a little bit, but don't get me wrong, and sometimes I
Yeah.
am wrong there as well.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of have expectations for opponents, and then after sitting down and watching them play for a while, I'll adjust my expectations to what I've seen so far from them. Um, yeah, and I essentially just go from there. I don't just come in with a strategy planned. I have like, biased assumptions, we'll say.
Hmm.
But then after, I don't sit there and, sometimes I will jump in. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I won't just sit down and start trying to bully people, even if I'm a big stack. I see that happen a lot of
Totally agree.
times. I still will just kind of play my normal game and not try to be captain just for no reason, unless I feel like my table is being super passive. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, like I think that's all well said. One thing I was going to say is I also just come in with different expectations based on which tournament it is. So
Oh, for sure.
I'm thinking of like if I'm playing the Colossus or if I'm playing the Gladiator or one of the 600s, I come into those and even though all of these tournaments are going to have a pretty good pool of recreational players, by good pool, I mean just a good percentage of the player pool will be recreationals. These tournaments are going to be very, very recreational heavy. So like the lower buy-in ones, there's going to be a lot of play that just makes no sense. And there's going to be a lot of these players that are here to for the experience. Obviously, everyone's trying to win, but there are a lot of players who are in these for the purpose of the World Series experience, right?
100%.
And so now you still have to do what you said. You have to pay attention and sort of evaluate, judge a book by its cover, and then also by some plays that you see. But you have to, if someone's there to experience the WSOP, sometimes they're going to play really nitty because they just want to last as long as they can in the tournament.
And we can
Or
pay attention to that, and I mean, we'll catch on to that quickly.
yeah, or sometimes they'll identify me as a professional and they'll be like, "Oh, I want to have a story of where I bluffed a professional, you know? I want to bluff one of the pros and show it. I want to windmill it in his face." And you kind of have to get a vibe for are they going to get the experience and are they trying to really confront you as a pro? Or and I know this doesn't apply to everyone. Or are they going and trying to like stay in the tournament as long as they can? I remember in like I mean, this happens in a lot of tournaments, but in it was like the $500 homecoming tournament, housewarming, whatever, a few years ago. Huge, huge tournament to start the series. We made the money, and there were multiple people like on FaceTime with their loved ones, like, "Oh my god, I did it!" And it's like, for some people, making the money in a WSOP event is just such a
It's like winning
big
it for
thing.
them.
Yes, that is like their ultimate goal, and so they're going to just fold everything approaching the bubble. And yeah, you kind of have to just really pay attention both to how people play and to what they're saying. I think God, I forgot where I heard this. There was someone, a professional, who was saying like it may have even been like Adrian Mateo. I shouldn't say it could be anyone, but they were saying how in the World Series main event on day 3, there was a player next to them asking, "Are we close enough where I could fold into the money?"
Don't
And
ever ask your opponent that, especially
right.
if they're aggressive.
Yeah. And the pro kept answering honestly. He was saying, like, no, no, no. And then yes, like he was answering it honestly, but obviously what this player is demonstrating. Oh, and I think he folded Jack's face up once, like pre-flop. I think if someone's being that blatant about it, it's like so clear that, oh, I'm folding everything. Like if it's my big blind, you can consider that dead money, you
And we
know?
love when people, I mean, this is one of the edges that we get, especially at the WSOP. This is something where it happens more like you don't really see this happen other places. It's at the WSOP because of
Yes.
because they want that WSOP little emblem on their Hendon mob. You know what I mean? They want to make sure they get the money, so they'll fold all the way to it. And when they make it so clear that they're willing to do that, you will get punished. And it's not personal, but that's as players trying to win the tournament, that's where we have to attack. So,
Yeah. And actually, I will even say for myself, it was my second ever bracelet event in 2021, which is actually right when I decided to play poker full time.
mhm.
Um, my second ever bracelet event was a $600 deep stack. And we were like approaching the bubble, and I felt so nervous. And it wasn't like I, there was that added pressure of, oh my God, like this could be my first World Series of Poker cash.
Yep.
And I will say, I feel like I had more pressure on myself in retrospect in that moment than I did in my third place gladiator. Like I felt that felt almost bigger in a way. Like
That was
because I
your initial that was your first WSOP cash, you said?
yeah, and we were on the stone bubble, and I just called queens from the big blind, and actually ended up losing to pocket eights in a non all in pot. I don't know if he would have called the jam or not, but if he had, I actually could have stone bubbled, ironically. But um, it was like a mid position raise off of like 20 big blinds. But anyways, so point being is like it's very easy for the mental side of poker to sort of be magnified due to the World Series, especially
Yeah.
for a recreational, I would
Yeah.
say.
No, I mean, I agree. I agree. And maybe even in a sense for professionals as well, because this is like the stage that they want to be the most successful on. It's where they want to be
Mhm.
known. You know what I mean? Everybody
Oh,
wants
and
that
like
bracelet.
yeah, and especially when you get into the summer, like a week or two in, people start getting tilted. If they've fired off a bunch of bullets and haven't had a run yet, like as a pro, it's easy to get tilted too.
Yeah.
Um, this is the time of year where you're going to be firing off the most live tournaments usually.
You know,
So
to come back to Chris's question about sitting down at a table and making assessments, I just have a quick story I want to talk about from I, maybe it was 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. When you and I got sat day two of the Monster Stack. Was that
yep,
two years
yep.
ago? So I've been I made it to day two of the Monster Stack, where we made the money in day two, correct? My brain is
Yep.
failing me here. Yeah, so we
It's like
make
middle of day
we
two.
ma-
Yeah.
so I made the money. I ran up a nice stack on day two, caught some bluffs, had some good value bets that got paid, and built up a decent stack. And then all of a sudden, my table broke. I'm walking across the entire room. Let's see, it's the horseshoe room, not the Paris room, but the horseshoe room. I'm
Mhm.
walking all the way across the room, and there's hundreds of tables full of opponents. I look at my table as I'm assessing. I'm walking with my rack, and I look around at the table, and the first person I see is Chris Mormon, and I'm like, "Oh, here we go!" Like, all right, so immediately, it's like this guy's gonna be a pain in the ass, like, in what I said earlier. Then I look
Mhm.
to his right, and there's another guy. I can't remember his name, but I know he's also very aggressive and painful. And then I look to his right, or his left, and his left rather, my right from where I was standing, and there's Mr. Wesley Cannon.
Yeah, you see me right
And that
there.
ugly ass face.
Okay.
I just thought, man, I can't look at this guy for hours on end. So that alone pissed me off. But uh no, and I just remember walking up to that table and thinking, wow, this is not a lucky draw. So, I mean, those are kind of some of the first thoughts that I have. Like, how good is this table draw? Am I lucky in the sense of, because obviously the table draw is out of your control. So, was I lucky or unlucky with this table
Mhm.
draw? That one I was definitely unlucky. And you and I proceeded to bust one, two, not long after that.
Yeah, literally hand after hand.
Yeah, one
Yeah,
after another. So, um, yeah, it's always a different experience, though. I do want to say that when I sit down or when I'm sitting down at a new table and the feeling I get, the assessments I make, it's always different. It's always like,
yeah,
okay, what's this going to be like, you know? Because there's always so many different types of opponents and player types.
yeah. The yeah, it's so weird. Like you can be at these tables with all these recreationals, and then you can also have one of the best players in the world at your table. Like there's really nothing else like the World Series of
And it
Poker.
is cool. Like I've sat down and all of a sudden I've had Martin Jacobson, however you want to pronounce it, at my
Yep.
table. I
Yeah, me
sat down,
too.
I've sat down and I've played with, Daniel Negreanu in my Millionaire Maker table. That was a cool one
Mhm.
because he was just so invested into, even though, it was a $1,500 event, small event for him. He was so invested to every single hand. I just remember watching him, every single hand. He was just trying to like really get involved and think about what his opponents were thinking. That was super cool. Played with Eric Lindgren. And just a handful, a ton of other pros over the years. So it is cool to just sit down at the WSOP and all of a sudden you're with someone that you've watched on TV for years or looked up to, or someone that's inspired you to improve your game. So that
Yeah.
that can be one of the cool things. What other questions do we have?
So Jay Shard, Chaudhry, do we know
Chaudhry,
how to pronounce? Yeah,
Chaudhry.
Chaudhry.
Anyways, we've always
Sorry,
slaughtered this.
Jay. We love you. Um, are there any satellites that you'd recommend playing, or is it better to just hop in, say, a WSOP deep stack or side event at a non-WSOP venue,
Ooh, that's a
Venetian
good.
Aria win, etc.?
That I don't play satellites when I'm out there. I will occasionally jump into a deep stack if I've dusted the rest of the day off.
Hmm.
I will say there is one satellite that I do play and that has been very profitable for me, and I recommend everyone doing is the online main event qualifiers for
Hmm.
218 or 215 or something like that.
215, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
215. I remember I don't know how many years ago this was, but I
I
ended
think
up
23 you qualified.
yeah, but just off the flight. Just get off the flight, registered it on the I was on in a Uber on my way to my Airbnb. Or no, on an Uber on my way um to the Rio, or not the Rio, but Paris Horseshoe
Yep,
to register, and I ended up just banking a seat in line.
that's awesome.
Yeah, so those are super awesome, and they probably have live ones too. And I'm assuming that these satellites are going to be just Charmin soft. Um, you
Yeah,
know, baby bottom soft. I'm talking like just just
mashed potatoes.
mashed potatoes soft, like really mashed potatoes with butter and gravy soft. Yeah, get in there because I know those are going to be good. And they're 10% and 20% satellites. I think they have both. Probably milestones now, which I've still never even played one of.
Mhm. Yeah, so I have not played a live satellite. I've heard they're very soft, but that being said, if I'm going in to play live, I'm going to play an actual event. What I will say is last year, even though last year was my worst World Series to date, I did have some success playing online satellites, just as you said. Like I would show up to the 800 and my first bullet was paid for by this $33 satellite.
Every single night you'd be like, "Oh, qualified for this event tomorrow. Oh,
Yeah,
qualified for this event." And the Airbnb just
yeah,
like
like the
qualified for this.
Gladiator, an online 1K I qualified for. Yeah, I won like four satellite, so playing and obviously you'll bust a lot of the time too, but like playing these can be a good way to, you know, even if you're not playing a full online session, it's like you're sort of reducing the amount of um the amount that you have to dip into your bankroll to fire a lot of these tournaments.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would say hmm, I would say those are good. To specifically answer the question, if I was going to go play live, I would not play a satellite. Just generally speak, I mean, I never have. So why would I say that I would?
I think it's also important to note for our schedule specifically, like when we're at the WSOP, there's already such little sleep to be had, and
Mhm.
we're playing 12-hour days. There's just not a lot of time to fire satellites when we're on the full grind. So that's another
Yeah,
thing as well.
right, right. That being said, I am looking at this year's schedule, and this actually leads into the next question. Um, and I'll just read the next question too. Daniel Kennedy asks, with so much happening everywhere, how do you build your schedule? Do you focus primarily on WSOP or are you looking for other spots around town?
Ooh, I like this question because now we can get into what we do while we're out there.
Right. Um, and so actually looking at this year's schedule, the World Series in terms of the Hold'em events, no limit Hold'em events that are within the buy-in range that I'm planning on playing, which is like, the 300 through 1500 range. Um, Apart from the main weekend, the big weekend events, the Gladiator, Colossus, Monster Sack, Millie Maker, Mystery Bounty, and probably main event. Like apart from those, there aren't a lot of weekday events that there's like two, maybe three that I'm looking forward to. But a lot of the good Hold'em ones are during the main event. So I'm figuring out like, I haven't, I'll probably play the main event, but I haven't officially like decided I
You
will yet.
shut your mouth right now. You
Well,
shut
okay,
your
so
dirty mouth.
we'll talk about that too, um, but yeah, so I am looking at one place that both of us and our roommates have enjoyed playing at is the Aria. In the
It's
past, they've had
so
600
good.
800s. This year, it's 800s and 1100s.
They did juice it up. I noticed that. Yeah, which I don't know. I kind of don't like that just because I'm afraid that it might take some of the softer players out. Correct me if
Yeah,
I'm
and I
wrong.
think I'll prioritize the 800s there.
Yeah,
Um,
those there are great tournaments. The structures are, I think it was 30 or 40 minutes. Was it
it's
30?
30 minutes. It is a pretty good structure. It's a good structure for a one day.
Yeah.
And just a very soft feel. I mean, these are tournaments where first place for a one day could be 60 to 70 grand.
Yeah.
And
So
it's a
juicy
really
in
good
one
feel.
day. Yeah.
So I can almost guarantee that I will play one or more dailies at the Aria.
That's where, if
Um,
you're playing a daily, do the Aria ones. They're the best structured, in my opinion, for that price point. I will say that if you're going to play those, to often, if possible, register early because there oftentimes will be an alternate list. But however, with these increased price points, that might be one of the reasons that might will
I
probably help.
actually think you're right. I think they looked at it and they're like, okay, we can fill these seats. Like we can make the same or more money by juicing up the buy-in. You know what I
And
mean?
then
Like
reducing the wait time.
the
Yeah.
experience will be better for those playing it because there won't be those lines
Yeah.
and they won't sacrifice their bottom line. So
I agree with that. Yep. So it shouldn't be as bad this year. But I have had times where I've waited an hour, to get it to get a seat. So
for
just be
sure.
mindful of that. Typically when I'm going there, it's again because I've dusted my WSOP event for the day.
Yeah.
What else?
Hopefully, yeah.
What
So
else you
so
play?
also I would say I I feel like a lot of people are kind of I don't want to say obsessed, but like they overvalue the win tournaments because of how nice the win is.
I like how you put that, and I
You
agree
know?
with you. I agree with this take. I do love how beautiful the win is. I love the customer service. I can get like any kind of drink I want, like some sort of like strawberry juice or like pine, like anyways. But yeah,
Yeah.
but go ahead, finish your thought on that.
Um yeah, so the win, yeah, beautiful casino, beautiful poker area, well-structured tournaments. I find that these tournaments, and I haven't played tons, but like they seem to be a little bit tougher fields. Um
They are
and
insanely tough. I've only struggled there. I feel like.
yeah. And I guess I just look at it like we're going out here to try and I mean like first and foremost we're trying to win the maximum amount of money, right?
Mhm.
Like we and yeah, like I just don't I'm not going to I know they have some really big nice multi-day events too, but like at the end of the day, I'm trying to game select, so to speak. I'm trying to play in the best tournaments for what I think the overall profitability, like the long term profitability would be. And I think playing the same price point at Aria versus Win, like I'm going to choose Aria just based on my experience. And then we also have Venetian.
I like the
Um,
feel of the Aria a lot. I just
I
the
do,
atmosphere, the vibe, everything about it. I just love it.
yeah. I will say I don't like that it's right. You can hear all the slot machine, all the casino action. Like
Uh,
it does get kind of annoying.
that has never bugged me personally, but I'm kind of like I'm not even a degen, but I guess I grew up in casinos over the years, so
There you go.
yeah, maybe I'm just used to it at this point. But in terms of like the lighting, I love it. It's kind of a little bit
Yeah, I
darker.
think the
The
poker
vibe,
area, like where the actual tournament is, I
yeah,
think is great.
yeah. And also the Aria, I feel like the Arias are going to be softer than the Wins.
Totally agree. What do you think about Venetian?
I So they got a new poker room. I don't think I've played any yet. Last year was the
Oh, me
they
too. Me
yeah.
too, actually.
I think last year they implemented the new poker room if I remember correctly. So here's the thing. Um I played the Venetian a lot more in years past, like prior to COVID. I would play a lot more events there. Honestly, I didn't like their old room that much. I don't know. The vibe, I just wasn't as comfortable in there as I was at a place like Aria or the Win, or even the WSOP for that matter. It's not bad. It definitely can be soft, but there's also, I found that the Venetian also has a lot of tough opponents in there.
Yeah,
From my experience, I've had a lot of. I feel like most of my tables have always been more difficult than other places. I will say that one year they had like I don't know, I think this might have been during COVID. I don't remember, not too long ago, within the last 5, 6 years, they moved all their tournaments down to like these um I don't want to say warehouse, but it's like a big massive space, like it almost looks like a parking garage with some vendors
hmm,
down there. Loved it when it was there, but they only did that for like a year, I think. So that I don't know. I guess my ultimate answer to that is I don't prefer the Venetian anymore, but am
yeah,
looking forward to trying their new room.
yeah. Okay, yeah, that sounds. The one thing I might play there is the MSPT, or there are
MS,
two MSPTs.
yeah, the MSPT majors there, they have, early June, I think like the 4th or 8th or something like that. They got their first MSPT new major, the Heart major, they call it, or whatever. It's a $1,600 buy-in with 1 or 2 million guarantee, something like that. So
Yeah,
that'll be,
1.5 maybe.
yeah, okay. So, that will be juicy. And also one thing about the Venetian is they do have lower buy-in single day events, which I
They
do
do,
like.
yeah. Like they have some six
Four and
hundreds.
yeah, I think maybe they used to have 400s, maybe not anymore, but they have 600s, 800s. Um, so I might hop in for some of that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So overall, and I guess like lastly, what I would say is the WSOP does have their dailies. Those are not well structured, but they are soft.
I will say about the dailies, like
Daily thief stack.
so
Yeah.
like that's where I love to just go torture people. That's it. Like just go in there and like I've usually dusted off a bullet or here, a bullet there, or I just haven't played anything. And then I go in there and it's like our meetup game. I just splash there. Just like
Yeah.
oh, you've opened 3 hands in a row. I get that all the time. Or like people just think
Yeah.
I'm some crazy kid. Um, I've had some success in those. They're fun. They're very soft, like you mentioned, and they're cheap. I think what was it? The
There's a
two
250, a 400.
So the 400, I think, is a turbo. The 250 is like the 1 p.m. main one, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. You know, I
What?
realized we missed something.
What did we miss?
We don't need to talk about how big the player pool, how big the prize pool was or anything, but we had a meetup game last week and I won.
Shit, I should. So we found out that clubs has a bug.
Yes.
I think we had 3 entries in last week's meetup game. Is that right?
Yeah. So what happened is they need three to have it run, three pre-registration. So we got that. But
Max.
if they have a rule where if it gets to heads up during registration, they close late reg.
Reg
If it
just
gets to heads
closes.
up.
Yeah. So we had three
And
players to start the
you, me,
tournament.
and Alan Bosshog Baker.
Yeah, and I just dusted a buy-in immediately to you thinking I could rebuy in. Just I was having fun splashing, dusted off a buy-in, and all of a sudden it locked me out of rebuying, and you guys were stuck heads up with registration.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we were not able to really have the meetup game, but
No one else could
after,
register. It was just
yeah,
bullshit.
Al and I did have a bit of a heads up battle. I eventually prevailed. So, from a very technical standpoint, that is my second meetup game championship. I don't know how much it really counts because it got capped at 3 entries, but you know what? I'm counting it because I want to.
Yeah, well, I'm
And
not counting it because you don't deserve it. So,
well, maybe you should have played a little bit better, buddy.
yeah, you're probably right. I mean, had I known that if I knew that the software was set up to where if it got to heads
Totally.
up during reg, I wouldn't have done that. So
Totally.
I was there to
Um,
have fun. You know what I mean?
just we're just having fun.
Yeah, that's
Anyways,
all the meetup game's about. And it can get juicy. So
yeah,
let's
and we will have one next Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yes, next
That being
Tuesday.
said, I will not be able to play clubs poker from Vegas. So after that, we'll see if we take a break from them or what the plan is there.
Yeah, Tuesday the
Um,
27th of May, by the way, for those listening. Get in there.
yep,
55 buy-in, no password. Let's just juice that up. I want 40 entries in that thing.
yeah, 50. Let's do
50,
50.
50 entries. That sounds good. But yeah, if you guys haven't signed up for Clubs Poker yet, this is the shill. This is the plug. Go hop in the description of this wherever you're listening to it. There's a link there. If you sign up to clubs using that link, it supports our podcast. So we'd appreciate that if you haven't yet. And shout out to all those who have. So um,
Absolutely.
back to the content now.
Back to the content.
How do you feel about the Venetian?
So I also have not played in the new poker room. Ironically, last December when we were there for WPT, there's a day um I was like, I'm gonna go play cash at Caesars. And then I realized, oh, they literally don't have a poker room anymore. And then I'm like, okay, let's try Venetian. And then I get there and I'm like, what the hell? They don't have one either. And eventually I realized that they actually do, but it's in a different place, whatever. So I ended up playing again at Bellagio. But point being, I don't know how their new poker room is. Overall, yeah, I mean, I would say if I were to rank, I would say if I'm gonna play a live tournament but not a WSOP event, I would look first at the Aria schedule, then Venetian, then Win, because that's kind of the order in which I might choose to play them.
Okay,
And I would just,
mine would be Aria win Venetian probably. But go ahead.
yeah, that's fair. Um, and I'm looking for a tournament that is something I would want to play too. Like I'm not gonna hop in a 5K just because, or I'm
Th-
not gonna.
That's exactly right. I mean, that you kind of nailed it. Like ultimately, I'll go to the place I like the least is if that tournament seems like number one, the most valuable, number two, going to be the softest, number three, something I'm just going to enjoy to be at. So, um, yeah, I
Yeah.
think, yeah. Uh, do we have any more questions based on that stuff?
So those were the only three that I'm seeing at least here. That being
Okay.
said, the last thing I wanted to say is there's also online, and I know a lot of people when they're going out for the series, they're going out for a week or so, and they're not doing it to just grind online, but there are. I will also like some of the lower buy-in bracelet events online, or there's going to be ring events online, stuff in the
Almost
like.
every night they have so the circuit has like a ring series going on, what seemed like the whole summer last year.
Yep.
I could win a ring almost every night, it felt like, for 200 to 300 bucks. I
Yeah,
still
and
don't have a
somehow
ring
neither one
though.
of us did.
I know. I had actually I will say that, I would play during the day. If I wasn't still in the tournament at night, I'd go hop online, and I had a lot of success out there online. Well, the tournaments are soft. The new WSOP software has been improved, so that's good. Um, and there's just a lot of value online right now, or during the World Series. So make sure to check out online.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
And so for me personally, I guess the point being is like I
Qualifiers
will
for you.
also look at that. There will be times when like I'll grind online where you'll grind online. And it's nice to just not have to go onto the strip every day.
There is
Because
a
I'm
problem though with
yeah.
online. Do
Oh,
you
there
know?
is. That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
The geolocation.
Yes, exactly. So the geolocation is what the software uses to pinpoint where you're at to make sure you're within the boundaries of where they're allowed to play. So if you're in Vegas, you're allowed to play on WSOP.com. However, if you're in the same household as someone, to prevent colluding, they will they will just straight up block one of your accounts, if not both. So where then you got to go into the Horseshoe Paris, cash or the WSOP.com booth and have them unblock you. You got to get on your
Yeah.
knees and beg for them though, like, and then give them $100 each. You don't actually have to do that, but
No.
but yeah, so Wes experienced that. Thankfully, I did not. So if we were to both enter the same tournament, we could both just get our accounts banned and then have to go and fight to get them unbanned.
Yeah. Now I will say, like, obviously you might think, well, people are playing on their phones all the time and at the series, like, how do they get around that? And there's an exception for if you're on a Caesar's property.
Exactly.
So
Yes. If you're on a Caesar's property in a hotel room, don't worry about it. Or if you're
yeah,
anywhere on a Caesar's property.
yeah, which makes sense, but also seems like bullshit because people could easily just collude.
Well, I
That
told the people at the WSOP.com booth that our house, uh, is a Caesar's property.
they didn't listen.
They just didn't believe me, and I said, "Listen, that's what it is."
Yeah, those idiots.
What a
But
great
yeah,
joke, right? That was just fantastic. But
it was
anyways,
amazing. So yeah, just be careful of that. If you're, there are a lot of people who are in the same household for the WSOP, and so you're not allowed to be in the same tournament as someone who's within like 30 feet of you or at the same cash game table. Um, you can both be playing. You can both be, you know, yeah, just not in the same event. You could even have it where one of you busts out and the other one late regs after that, but you can't just be in the same tournament at the same time. So
Wes, I had someone reach out to me on Discord and ask me if we were going to have a WSOP Suited Kings meetup.
that's right.
How cool
That's
would
right.
that be? We should maybe get a scheduled like a dinner somewhere where
Yeah.
like we can
Well,
just invite everybody out and just kind of, play a massive game of credit card roulette.
that sounds pretty fun. Um, do you
I'm just kidding about that, by the way.
totally, but
Potentially.
that will because I will be out there pretty much the whole time.
Well, let's talk
Um,
about this. Let's talk about our
yeah,
schedules.
yeah. Um, all right. Well, I actually have the WSOP schedule up right here.
Well, I happen to as well. So you're leaving next week. So
Yeah.
as we're recording this, it's the 21st of May. You're going to be leaving on what, Thursday of next week? Is that right?
Thursday next week. I'm getting in the evening.
Are you driving?
No.
Are you renting a car?
No, we'll have at least one at the house and I can take some Ubers, etc.
I feel like you should consider renting a car. You will save a pile. I got so tired of driving Ubers back and forth to the Airbnb last year. And then I just had, 20-hour conversation after I bust a tournament, get into an Uber, have a 20-minute conversation with some stranger I just don't want to talk to. Sometimes
Yeah.
they're okay, but
Yeah, that's true.
renting a car can be super cheap, so I recommend that. But so you're leaving next Thursday, getting in Thursday night.
Um,
Let's look at the schedule here. So it looks like
yeah, why is it only showing me the online?
29. Well, yeah, you suck. Are you going to hop into Mystery Millions, I assume then?
Yeah. So there are 5 flights to that. I get there. I can I'll buy in on day 1D and then probably 1E if necessary.
Oh crap, there is a 1E. I forgot about that.
Yeah, there's five
Yeah.
day ones.
That was a really fun tournament last year. We both made day two in that. I was on one bullet, which was pretty sick. I don't know if you
I
did or
think I
not.
was too. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I think
So
it
you're
was
good.
two.
So you're planning on going out next week, and you're staying all the way potentially through the main.
Yeah. So we've got flight A, flight B. Yeah. So we got that tournament. Then the following, so then that Sunday, if I'm not on day 2 of Mystery Millions, there's a $600 deep stack. It's also Sunday, which means there's infinite online stuff as well, even though some of it is now going to be blocked in Nevada. But
The
um,
600 deep stack is great though. It's 30,000 starting stack, $600 buy-in with 30-minute levels. It's going to be a zoo. That's what
yeah,
that's what the
it,
boys call the herd bird.
yeah, just massive, massive field.
Yeah,
Yeah,
going to the bathroom, just getting, herded all the way through it.
exactly. So then hopefully I'll just be on day 2 there. The next day we've got the $1,500 six max, which actually our roommate Brad Jansen
He shipped
won.
that bad boy.
Yeah, in
Probably,
2021.
yeah, what a sicko.
Um, good events. he says it's the best. I mean, he's a little biased. I think it's good. I wouldn't put it that high up though.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
six max events are always great. 1,500 price point for the WSOP is good. It's got 40-minute levels day one, 60-minute levels from there on, I believe. 25K starting set. Six maxes are always fun, and it has my name in it, so can't hate on
that's
it.
great. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It is.
We got the next day. There's a 2K no limit. I'm probably these 2K to 3K buy-ins, even the like 1,500 freeze out that'll be during the week. I think I'm probably not playing a lot of this stuff because, for one thing, the weekday tournaments tend to be reg slash pro heavy.
This is a
You know,
great advice for players. If you're coming out and you're gonna be playing any of these Monday through Wednesday events, oftentimes those are going to be the most reg heavy. Reg being, the regulars, the pros. You're just going to run into more difficult tables on those types of tournaments Mondays through Wednesdays. Whereas, Thursdays through Sundays are going to be the people, the weekend warriors coming out for, to come into play, and usually a lot of time the entertaining players or the entertainment type players, the softer players. So just kind of a rule of thumb.
yeah, absolutely. Um, a couple of years ago, after my gladiator score, I did play a couple of these. I think I cashed in the 3K freeze out. It's not, they aren't unbeatable tournaments, but they're certainly tougher than a lot of this other stuff, which leads us to the next weekend, or really it's just the next Wednesday, I think, but the day 1A of the Colossus, which now is actually a 500 instead of a 400 as it was in the past. Don't know that that,
Are you skipping the shootout?
I've never played it.
Oh God, the
Um,
shootout is just so fun. It's hard. It's hard, but it's
yeah,
fun. I was a sit and go grinder, so that's one of the reasons I love shootouts. But sorry, go ahead. Yeah, you got the Colossus. I just refuse to play that tournament now.
really?
Yeah,
Why?
it's just too much, too herdy for me.
Yeah.
The structure is good. It's 40-minute levels, one rebuy per flight. I think 50,000 to start and sec 500 price point. Honestly, if I was there at that time, I would play it. Let's just be real.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, as someone who my biggest score by far was in an even bigger tournament than this, like the $300 Gladiator. I can see both sides of it where like even last year when I played the Gladiator, I fired two bullets on each of day 1A and 1B and I was like, I'm done. This tournament's so stupid. Like that's coming from someone who got third in it the year before.
Yeah. Yep.
And it just they can be frustrated, when granted the structure of the Colossus is better than the Gladiator structure. But yeah, there's something like frustrating about this yeah, just
Spit it out there, man.
the crazy play when you don't run well and people are playing crazy. And it's like, oh no, I have to go back and rebuy and
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
outlast a million people.
And then
And
sit in line for a potential 2 hours waiting for your alternate. Yeah,
yeah,
that,
I guess
that's
I didn't necessarily have that, but I'm like, yeah,
that
this
is a
tournament,
thing though. So be
it
aware of
is a
that.
thing. Um,
Do you plan on leaving, taking any breaks to come home during that time, or are you just staying out there for the 5, 6 weeks?
so I don't know about,
You just gonna go with the flow?
yeah, I will kind of go with the flow, but what I will say is there's sort of a pocket of time between when is it? So the Gladiator, the good old Gladiator. It's it's the last weekend of June. And after that, there's sort of a chunk of time where like I don't know that I'll really play the mini main. Um
Not a fan myself.
there's a few days there where I'm probably gonna take a break. What I do with that time, I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
There's also a potential for the weekend before. I have a buddy's birthday that I could fly out for. Kind of depends on some things, but there are a couple pockets of time where I may I may decide to take a break. But it also, it does depend. Like last year, I know I felt the burnout a lot because it wasn't going as well. The year before, I ripped off a 210K score, and it wasn't until right before the main event that I finally was like, okay, I'm a little tired because I was just like on top of the world. So
For like a month straight. Yeah.
yeah.
I hear you.
Um,
I mean, I get it. So wait, so okay, so this kind of leads me to my next question. And this is something that a lot of our listeners may know the answer to already, but What outside of the main event is the must-play tournament of the summer? And this kind of leads to when I'm going to come in.
Yeah, the monster stack.
100%. Yeah, the monster stack. The structure, it's 1 hour levels, 50,000 starting, $1,500 buy-in. I think it's one entry per flight. There's four
Yeah,
fl
so it's a freeze out per flight. Now they've moved it from two to last year three, now to this year four day one flights.
It's going to be even juicier now. I wouldn't be surprised if we had two $1 million prizes, first place or first and second place both being over $1 million. That tournament is just that's the true mini main event in my
Mhm.
opinion. The structure is just so good. The play is so deep. And you have all of the different type. You have all the pros. You have all the amateurs. It's just everybody's there for it. Shout out to Aaron Johnson, who I think got second last year for 800K, right?
Yep.
Um, and yeah, I just love that tournament. And that's actually when I'm going to be heading out for the first time. So last year I was out there with Wes for 5 to 6 weeks from beginning to end. I remember we started off the summer by watching our boy Josh Reichard win his first WPT Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open, but they bring the final table to Vegas. So we went to the Luxor, I think was where it's at.
Well,
It's
I was I was an asshole and I played the $500 freeze out that day. So
Oh,
I
that's right. Yeah, yeah, you didn't
yeah.
make it, but I did. I mean, there was a bunch of us there, but we all had a great time cheering on Josh to his victory in the WPT event. So that's how we started off the summer. We played through the entire summer. It was not a bad summer. Started off a little slow, but then picked up near the end, thankfully, to kind of save it a little bit. This year, for me personally, um, I got really burned out from 5 to 6 weeks there. And also, real estate is booming right now this year, now that the election year is over. So I have a lot of business happening. I will be handling real estate stuff for the first, couple weeks of June, heading in for the monster stack, staying for about a week and a half, then coming home. And then, also just spending time with family during the summer is super important to me. Um, I'll be coming back after about a week and a half and then going back for the main. So my I'll probably be there for 2.5 to 3 weeks this summer, which is going to be completely fine. And then, in the future I might end up doing some more full summers, but going to give myself a little break this summer.
Yeah, of course. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at the overall schedule, yeah, it's like for each weekend, the first 5 weekends, we have the Mystery Bounty, the Colossus, the Monster Sack, the Millie Maker, and the Gladiator. And I'm gonna play all of those, at least fire, maybe not every single day one flight, but those are like all tournaments I will play.
Yeah. I'll be
And
playing the
then,
Millie and the Monster for sure.
yep. And then as far as the weekday ones, there's like an 800 I'll play. There's the 500 freeze out. There's just not that much, honestly, that I am planning on absolutely playing. And so that's where I think I may play some online. I may take a couple days off. I may go to Aria, whatever it might be.
Yeah. I think that's a good time to switch it up and go. I mean, also just get a different view for a little while. Go to the Aria, go to the Wynn, go to Venetian, go to not Planet Hollywood, but Um, where's that place, that dusty, smoky shithole that I kind of like? Uh, Um,
Uh,
they have
that
other series.
or sorry, not MGM Grand.
Maybe that was it. Anyways,
Yeah,
there's a bunch of
it's
dust
dark,
holes. Yeah, I
but
like I like that though. I was always like a fan of like the smoky backroom poker living, as many of you listening probably have heard me talk about before. So I've always been a fan of that. But yeah, this year I'm going to be playing the Monster, the Millie, some 1500 freeze outs, and then some side events in the main event. And I think that'll be probably a majority of what I plan on playing for this summer.
yeah. So here, actually, let's go back to this main event thing that we were talking about, right?
Okay, okay.
So one thing I realized is like, okay, people talk about, oh, the main event, it's a must play, whatever, right? And I will say, it's got to be the softest 10K in the world. Um,
I'd imagine so.
I would imagine. That all being said, I'm like, it is a 10K, and even though day one and two you can easily find yourself at a pretty soft table. Day three, as you move on in the tournament, it is not a soft tournament by any means.
No, it gets
And
increasingly difficult for sure.
it does. And look, I probably will end up playing it. Like I'm not,
You're gonna
but
be like Phil Hellmuth and be like, I'm not gonna play. You know Phil Hellmuth's gonna play that damn thing.
oh, of course he is. And I'm not, I probably will too, but I I'm selling action for my summer as a whole. And so then for the main event, I'm going to be selling a bigger piece. So for one, for one thing, I'm not playing for the full amount. And then yeah, it is also just the 10K. And I've had the thought of like,
Make it a 3K for yourself, though. You know what I mean? Sell and
oh,
sell
and
it,
that's
or sell at a markup. Obviously, the main event is one
right, right,
tournament where you
right.
can mark up.
And I mark up for everything. So it's not,
Wes just asking 2.0 on everything.
not quite that bad. But I guess the point being is I have wondered for myself. I'm like, okay, this is labeled the world championship. Like, this is really the reason why. Like, am I just FOMOing into this tournament? Like, am I, am I like, is everyone being a sucker? Granted, like, I truly, I do believe that I am profitable in this tournament. Like, I'm not downplaying that, but also like I wouldn't use that to justify firing any other 10Ks regardless of the action I sold.
It
And
is a very special tournament, though. I mean, and the what you exp the experience alone is probably worth the price point. I mean, that sounds silly to say because, but the experience alone with the potential upside of profit, obviously. But I'm saying like 2 hour levels, you just don't get that in any tournament in the entire world ever.
mhm,
Um, Obviously that's very slow, but I prefer that. I love that. I love playing poker, so I'm not afraid to play these slow tournaments.
yeah,
And just, I mean, the people you meet are the stories, the random shit you see, the feeling of busting it is so painful. It's just everything's elevated in it.
yeah. Oh, it really is. It really is. Yeah, and like I said, I probably will still play it. The reason the reason I am questioning a little bit is I look at the schedule during the main event and I'm like, we have the $600 altar stack, we have the $600. Granted, this one is right at the beginning of it, but the $600 Poker News Deep Stack, which is an amazing structure. Um,
I
we
loved that
have
tournament last year. Yeah, it was a great one.
we have these 777 lucky sevens, the seven handed. That's a
Another
awesome
great tournament.
tournament.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We have the 3K mid stakes championship, which I heard is very soft, and that is like the one bigger buy-in, apart from probably the main that I may have on my schedule. We've got a random 1K no limit, which should be soft. We have an 800. Like a lot of the Hold'em events that I would otherwise plan on playing are all during the main too, which is
Yeah.
like
Well, if you
that's
bust
what
it
made me
quickly,
kind of
it's like you can play and then miss those. If you miss those, you're going to be having a somewhat of a run in the main. And if you bust the main, then you can just hop in them.
problem is once you bust the main though, it's like is the air out of the sails completely?
It's a good question.
It
Yeah,
depends.
it does depend. It definitely is typically for the night, at least for me. Like I need some
Yeah.
time to decompress after busting the main. But
Yeah.
and
And
also
I
let
guess
go
oh
ahead.
go ahead, go ahead.
I was just going to mention, not poker related, but semi-poker related. If you guys end up banking a bracelet this summer or just a pile of cash, you should invest that in real estate and then holler at me because I will gladly get you into the home you need. So there's a little real estate plug. Continue your thoughts.
Oh yeah. Hey, that's fair. That's a good plug. Um what was I saying? Damn it. Um
I
okay.
cut you
Oh
off.
yeah. So basically my point being is my plan for the summer is I kind of have it mapped out in my head for what June is going to look like. And, in selling the action that I'm going to, or that I've already sold essentially, I'm kind of saying like, this is my plan up to this point, and then July is sort of we'll see what the plan is basically.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I yeah, like you absolutely want to go into any tournament confident and feeling ready to play, but especially if it's the 10K World Championship, you absolutely want to go into that like 100% sure that
Ju
that's what you want to be
just
doing.
juiced. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
most people are because it's just the main event, right? I mean, not only is there a ton of money to be won, but there's a lot of notoriety to be won as well.
Hmm.
Building a name for yourself. And that is important to people. And some people it's not, a lot of people it is. It's just true. And
Yeah.
regardless, I just want a damn bracelet so bad. And I'm
Yeah.
hungry for it. And here's the truth also about like if you're coming out just for the monster stack or just for the millie or just for the main, like it's going to be much harder for you to win a bracelet because you're up against 10,000 plus people in each of these tournaments.
Hmm.
Um, but that's okay. You know, if it will come eventually. I think it will. And I also, like, I think I mentioned earlier in the podcast or a different episode, is I got a fortune cookie that says my July dreams will become a reality. So essentially, I probably will just win that main event bracelet this summer. Wes, do you want to do a little bet?
Yeah, let's do that. And you were talking about bracelets, and I think it's a good time to lead into it. So let's each pick five players. So basically, what we're gonna do is we're each gonna just pick five players, and it's kind of a
Snake
bracelet
draft?
or no, like whoever wins for each of our five players, whoever has the group that wins more bracelets, which could just mean one bracelet, but
Yeah, yeah.
whoever wins more bracelets wins the bet. You know what? I'll allow you to go for we'll do the snake draft. You go first, I get the
Okay.
second and third pick, you get
Okay.
fourth, fifth, etc.
Well, I'm not playing a full schedule. So there's no need to reciprocate, but I'm going to start off by picking you, Mr. Wesley Cannon, as my first pick.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, you know what? You know what? The competitive juices where I just wanted to this puts me in a tough spot here because if I win a bracelet, suddenly, there's no, obviously I will be
You'll be
more
happy to buy me
if
some Nakamoto
I will
sushi.
be happy
Oh
to,
God.
and if me winning a bracelet is the reason that you win the bet, I'm going to treat you to one hell of a dinner. This
Yeah,
is going to be,
I would love that. And I will say I absolutely love sushi, but I can't even explain how much better it is past that when you're paying for it.
the smile on your face the entire time.
Oh
I
man,
swear.
it's so good. It's just so good. But yeah, my first pick is going to be you.
Thank you. Well, damn, I almost want to pick you just because,
No,
I feels
I'm not
like,
going to
but
be. That's
you're
I
only
would.
playing a couple tournaments and,
Yeah, I would not pick me in this case. So go ahead.
um, all right. Well, then I will start with a player who has just been crushing the live scene for the better part of a couple of years, I think. Currently number one ranked GPI player, Jesse Lonis.
Oh
I
yeah, he doesn't even have a bracelet yet, does he?
I don't even remember if he does, but
I don't remember either, but I will say that even just lately, like he's been crushing it.
yeah.
Yeah, Jesse Lonis is a great pick. Okay, so now you get a second pick
That's
or the
right. That's right. I'm next. So I'm going to follow it up by picking someone who, I mean, I think we have I know he's won. I don't know how many, but he we've recommended, what's it called? Um there's the YouTube series. I don't know. Basically watching his play has been helpful and I think is
oh,
great for everyone to study. You know
this
what
is a
I'm
good
doing?
pick, yeah, for sure.
Adrian Mateos.
Mr. Adrian Mateus. Yeah,
Yeah,
by the way, I just watched his new YouTube video, Inside the Mind of a Pro, that was
that's what it is.
from last year's main event. What, dude, he folded kings to aces on the turn of this hand. I won't get into the action, but go check that out. What just it was absolutely insane. It was such a cool episode. So make sure to check that out if you haven't yet. Okay, so now I get two picks, right?
Yep.
All right. I feel like I got a slam dunk first pick here. That's being you. No, I'm just kidding. It's a slam dunk second pick. I'm going to go with Mr. Scott Seaver.
Yeah.
He's already got seven bracelets. He crushed last year. He's hungry. He plays all the events. He can play, I think, all the mixed games. Yeah, he just excels in all the formats. So I'm going to definitely start off with Mr. Scott Seaver. So I got you. I got Scott Seaver. Um, Now I think I'm going to switch it up to someone who is not as well known, but he's definitely started to make a name for himself. And I know he's playing a full schedule, and he's also been crushing high stakes cash games lately. My third pick is going to be Texas Mike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember hearing that. I mean, he plays everything, so I think
Yeah.
that will make a good option.
I
Just for the
like it. That one, I did not see that one coming.
all
That's a
right,
good one though.
yeah, okay. So gonna go with Texas Mike. So you got I have Wesley, I have you, I have Scott Seaver, I got Texas Mike. You have
Adrian Mateos and Jesse Lonis.
Adrian and Jesse, two solid picks. Okay. All right, perfect. So go ahead with so I've picked three, you've picked two. Go ahead for your next two, right? Is that how snake
Yeah.
draft works?
Yep. So I'll get two, then you get two, then I'll get the last one, basically.
Hmm.
So with my third pick, I'm going to pick none other than the man who has won the most bracelets of all
Of
time.
course, yeah.
Who is going to try harder to win a bracelet than Phil Hellmuth Jr., 17-time bracelet winner. I mean, I don't need to explain my
He
pick really, but
he has
he's going to
white
be
ma
out there.
he has white
He's going to be
magic.
yeah, we know that he's never going to stop trying to hunt bracelets. This is his time of year. This is what he does. We don't need to get into his ridiculous play style, his antics, but I'm going to pick Phil Hellmuth for my third
It's
pick.
always a safe bet. He's got the most bracelets. Why not? Hey, by the way, you should put these in like a note on your phone because
Yeah.
I feel like we always forget our picks. Um,
Yeah.
okay. All right. And then you have one more, right?
Yep. So I'm trying to decide.
This will be your fourth pick, and then we both pick one after this, right?
You still have two more.
Okay.
You've
Oh
only
yeah,
made
yeah.
three.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
So you get your last two, and then I'll get the final one.
That's right.
So God, there's so many good choices.
It really is a lot of good choices for sure.
I am going to go with I have three in my head that I want to say. And I feel like they're all somewhat related to each other, and you'll understand. I'll probably try and pick two of them, but I'm gonna go with Kristen Foxen.
It's a good one. She's got five bracelets already.
Is it five?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I thought it was four, but either way, yeah, she's won a bunch of bracelets. Um, she she at one point was GPI Player of the Year, but she's still like top 20 right now.
She's just an
She
absolute crush. She almost final tabled the main last year, last woman
Yeah,
standing.
oh man, she kind of should have too, it felt like, but
She definitely should. Yeah, I mean, it's poker, right? So,
it is poker.
and I'm not gonna be like she blundered because she is a world class player. So who am I to call her out on that?
Right,
So
right. And yeah, I mean, she's just been, crushing for a long time, and she, from what I can tell, has just, I've seen her. She's playing everything, not everything, but she's going to be playing a ton of stuff, I would assume. So I'm going to make her my fourth pick. And so now you get your last two, and then I'll finish up with one.
okay, I am going to. I feel like mixed games are a good place for me to have some edge here.
Okay, that's smart. And
I'm
explain why that is.
just because mixed games are going to be having first off, there's a lot more of them now in the World Series of Poker. There's a lot more mixed game events, and also they also have smaller field sizes.
Yes.
So that alone will make it more likely. It just increases my chances, my odds. So I did get Scott Seaver, who's obviously an absolute crusher in both no limit hold'em and mixed games. There's a couple of people I want to pick that I'm not going to pick, but some close picks that I want to is Nick Schulman's one of them. Obviously, our boy Ian Matakis,
Hmm.
and John Redding as well. I mean, there's so many people I want to win a bracelet, but
I know.
but I'm going to go with the people that I feel have a lock on it. Okay.
Okay.
So that I feel are just the most hungry and that are going to do it. And my first pick, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, Yuri Zivalevsky. I might have
Yep.
pronounced his name wrong, but he's a mixed game specialist. I think he's got four or five bracelets. Four or five bracelets. He won the 3K 9 game mix event last year.
Hmm.
Um, and then my last pick, you had a female in yours. I'm going to have a female in my five here, and it's going to be Miss Angela
Yeah, I
Jordison.
was gonna say I was thinking it might be her.
Yeah, she has, one thing I love about Angela's game is just her conviction. She is hungry, and you just see it with every play she makes. She just wants it so bad, and that will lead to success as we've already seen with her. So,
Yeah.
yeah, my last pick is going to be Angela. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm super excited about that. I got Scott Seaver, I got Texas Mike, I got you, I got Yuri Zivalevsky. Did I pronounce that right? I have no idea. I got Angela Jordison. Is that five?
That's five.
Yep. All right. And then you got Adrian Mateos, You got, I already forgot your five.
Yeah, I got Jesse Lonis, Adrian
Cr-
Mateos, Phil
Kristen,
Helmuth, Kristen
Kristen
Foxen.
Foxen. And your fifth?
My fifth one, and so this you'll understand. Um, I said there were three people in my head who I wanted to pick, kind of all intertwined in a way. I picked Kristen. One of the other people I was thinking of was her husband, Alex Foxen, obviously a crusher.
Did he win his
Uh,
first bracelet last year or something? Was
I think
that
it was the year before he won the 250K, probably.
something like that? Yeah, one of
Yeah,
the high
but
rollers.
who I am actually going to pick is Chance Corneth for my fifth pick.
It's a very solid pick. I didn't even think about
Um,
Chance, but yeah, he's obviously. I mean, how many bracelets does he have? He's got probably like four, right?
yeah, I can't remember, but just and I guess like to your point about the mixed games, I think that's a good strategy of picking some mixed game players. In my player pool, I think three players in Chance, Jesse, and
Ch-
Adrian who are going to play
Chance
the
has
highest.
four. Chance has four
Nice,
bracelets. Go
nice.
ahead.
Those three players are all going to play in like and maybe Kristen too. I don't know if Phil will, but they're all going to play in the high roller stuff, which are much smaller fields. So even though they're tougher in terms of ROI and competition, they're
Hmm.
going to be easier to potentially win a bracelet in if they only have to outlast, you know, a couple hundred, or in the case of the 250K, maybe not even 100 players. Um, so yeah, Chance is going to be my fifth pick, and between him, Kristen, and Alex Fox, and I wanted to pick two of them. So if Alex wins a bracelet, I'm going to be a little bit annoyed in a way. Um, but
That yeah.
yeah, I just think that and for those who don't know, Chance and Alex, they have chip leader coaching, which I've actually used. Um, I think is a good training site. They're business partners, whatever,
Yeah.
and so
Check
that's
it.
how they're sort of
Chip leader coaching. Make sure to check that out.
yeah. We don't have any sort of deal with them, but just I think a good investment. So
Yeah, you know what you guys should do? I want to get both of them on the podcast. How sick would it be if our listeners just started tagging them and they're just like, "Hey, you should go to come on the Suited Kings podcast just to help us with some leverage." It's not
yeah,
easy to get those guys on podcasts. So if you guys want to hear them on the podcast, just tweet out at them. Tell them you want to hear them on the Suited Kings podcast. That would be
that
awesome.
would be awesome. We'd
Yeah.
love to have any of them.
Yeah.
So
So Kristen too. I mean, honestly, any of the chip leader coaching people. I don't even know if Kristen's part of it, but she's a crusher. I would love to have her on too.
mhm.
All right, so we got our five picks. Can't wait to my sweet sushi dinner as you purchased for me before in the
I'm
past.
just
Just
gonna rip off three bracelets, and
still buy
I'm
me
Max.
dinner.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
win this for you.
There we go. I love it. Let's go. All right, so let's go ahead and start wrapping up, guys. The WSOP is right around the corner. I'm very excited. I won't be there as long as last year, but nonetheless, that little kid at Christmas time feeling is already in my gut. I'm just
Oh, I'm
excited.
feeling it right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just so excited that it starts next week. Just to even be able to follow it from home when I'm not there, watch the final tables. Make sure to get Poker Go. If you want to really improve your game, get Poker Go during the summer. I pretty much only pay for it during the summer and then get rid of it the rest of the time. But you get almost all of the final tables on there. Mixed games, no limit, all of it on there. It's a great place for you to improve your game. So make sure to do that. I will be doing that for sure. And also just to watch Wes when he's at his final tables for all
Thank
three
you.
of his bracelets he's winning this summer. So
Yeah.
make sure to check that out. Discord guys, if you're not in there, you're missing out. Especially during the World Series of Poker. We will probably have a Suited Kings meetup dinner at some point. I'm hoping we don't have anything in the books yet, but we'll follow up if that's going to be the case. We'll have our episodes going throughout the summer as well. Wes, bring your gear with you. Um, we'll
Yeah.
discuss that in future, but yeah,
We will. We will.
we'll have
It's harder
episodes.
since I'm not driving this time.
True. But anyways, yeah, make sure, if you guys want some sweet swag and keep you warm during the WSOP, make sure to check out our Tilted Compass collaboration where the Suda Kings merch is now available. Link for that in the description. If you want to buy a house, holler at your boy. If you want to sell a house, holler at your boy. Um, Anything I'm missing here, Wes?
I actually
Patreon.
wanted to say a couple things about my stream, my bankroll challenge.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, so currently, I'm sitting right around 30K, as some of you will know. Um, what I have realized though is I need to probably get a better computer. Like there have just been too many issues with the technical side of things in terms of, you know, when I'm doing the streaming, sometimes maybe it's not just the stream itself, but actually my tables are like lagging from time to time.
Yeah, you
And
don't
even
want to
though it's
time out in a big decision.
right. And so what my plan is regarding that is to, I may test it out one or two more times over the coming week, but I might just play a little online off the stream too. Also, obviously, leading into the summer, I'm going to be playing a ton of live stuff. Um, there clubs and global poker are both not available in Nevada,
It's a damn
so
shame, by the way.
it is. Yeah, and frankly, there will be some bracelet stuff that doesn't even qualify to be a part of my bankroll challenge. Maybe I will do a stream or two of that counts toward the challenge, but for the foreseeable future, I'm not going to be doing that as much. However, I do plan on, getting a better computer, and after the World Series, I will be doing more streaming for sure. Um, so yeah, just kind of wanted to say that I'm also not ruling out the possibility of like if I'm playing a bracelet event online, streaming that potentially and just having that be its own thing.
I would love that. I would love to watch that.
Um, yeah. So the challenge is mostly on hold for a little while. Um, it's gone pretty well up to this point. I've enjoyed it.
You're up 20K in the challenge. I mean, don't give up yet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. And it's, it
Obviously, you put in
has
a lot of work, though. You've put in probably 100 plus hours of streaming at this point or more.
uh probably definitely
Hold
over
on.
200.
Yeah, that's
Um,
crazy.
and it does help me focus. It does help me when I'm explaining my plays and whatnot. It also frankly does get a little bit exhausting.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure for those of you who've watched it, sometimes you'll see like my energy dip. Or at least I know I feel that, and
I feel like that's normal, though, amongst
it
everyone who
it
does
totally.
streaming.
I'm sure it is, and I want to. I know I'm going to be using a lot of energy this summer, and so I just want to, you know, conserve it if and when I can. So
Yeah. All right.
I
Well,
won't. I won't be doing like a full streaming schedule again, probably until mid late July.
we'll be waiting for you to come back and start just continue crushing that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. I want to kind of just finish this up, Wes, with the Patreon plug here. If you guys want
yes.
to improve your game, we have, oh, and also support the podcast. We have two tiers on our Patreon. We have the $5 and $15 tiers. The $5 is just a podcast supporter. If you want to support the podcast, you appreciate the content we do and make, you can just go ahead and subscribe to that. That we'd appreciate that. Then we have the $15 a month. What we call it the study, what do we call it? The pro level
Pro
study
level
tier.
study tier.
Yeah, if you pay the $15 a month, this is a great way to improve your game at a very low price. Coaching can get very expensive. I mean, 100 plus dollars an hour. This is $15 a month where we drop videos every single week. And then that content can also be tailored to what you want by just typing in our Discord for, making suggestions you want. So
Totally, yeah. And I think I know that I've already made a couple of videos based on what you guys have suggested. And we will have a couple more of those coming out this week and next week. And yeah, if I guess what I want to stress and what you kind of just stress is like if you want to get better at poker, but maybe you don't want to pay for private coaching, you don't want to pay for the monthly subscription of a training site. I think this is a great way for someone who's a little bit more of a casual recreational player to have like a reasonable price and also get some tailored content, that would be helpful.
nailed
And so,
it.
yeah,
Awesome.
um,
Yeah, I
there
think
will
that,
be a time in the future when the price for that goes up. However, anyone who joins for the $15 a month will be grandfathered in, and it will, even if we change the price, it will still only cost you the 15.
yep. Yeah.
Um,
So
that
it's a
won't
good
be
reason to
till
get it
sometime.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, that won't be till sometime after the series, but we'll discuss that later. But yeah, if you want to improve your game, please get in the Patreon.
Let's go ahead and wrap this up, Wes, by just saying if you guys see us out in Vegas, whether we know you or we don't know you, say hi to us. We love, hearing that you guys are listeners, love that hearing that you enjoy our content. And just saying hi, just meeting fellow poker players who love the same game we do. So make sure to say hi to us. Don't be shy. Looking forward to meeting a bunch of you guys out there, and hopefully we can do a meetup as well. Any last thoughts, Wes?
No, definitely come say hi. I mean, one of my favorite things in poker rooms these days is, apart from winning money when I do that, but on breaks and whatnot, is when someone who is a listener comes up and says hi. It it means a lot to, I think, both of us to know that we are, that people enjoy listening to
Well,
us,
it
that
fires
they
us up to keep making the content.
it does. And you and I enjoy talking about this stuff regardless, but it does make a difference for us to hear that, like, people like look forward to our episode or enjoy a specific thing, or even if you've only listened to one or just know it, like, feel free to say hi. Like, you know it one thing I've always liked about the poker world that seems a little different than other places in the world is there's not like the barriers. There's not like I can go up and say hi to, like, I've met world champions. I've
Hmm.
met, other people's whose podcasts I really like, and I want, we're always available to.
I will say though, if we are on break of a tournament, do not come up and stand next to us. We will be releasing within the next couple weeks a $50 a month subscription where you can join us on breaks and run hands by.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, we charge for bad beat stories too. Like, don't
Yeah,
give us that.
$10 per bad beat, with increasing as the more you tell. So, just kidding. Come say what's up,
$50 if
guys.
we're tilted already.
Yeah, which we probably are. But I can't wait, Wes, for the WSOP this summer. Looking forward to not only playing all the poker, but eating all the delicious restaurants out there. One last quick tip for you guys. If you're at the WSOP on break, and you're limited time for dinner, what it is, hop over to Planet Hollywood. Ton of awesome selections, including the Earl of Sandwich, which is my personal favorite place to just grab something quick at a cheap price and very, very delicious. So check that out. And Wes, let's go ahead and wrap this up. We will have another episode before you leave next week, but let's go ahead and just crush it this summer. Win me some sushi dinners, huh?
I will.
And yeah, just bring daddy home some gold.
I'm
I
gonna
hope
have like
you.
I'm gonna have like 4 second place finishes now.
I would be very happy with that just for you.
Me too.
Um, and then yeah, just salami everyone you can out there.
I
Just
will.
full salami, right out of the freezer salami. So guys, have a great rest of your day, night, morning time, whatever it is. But yeah, can't wait to see you guys. And until the next episode, have a great one.